Buenos Dias Gunners Collective. Back at it, you already know. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And another one. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a motherfucking ba-da-ba-ba-ba. Like a smack at it. Bye-ya. 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 Or it is, you can tell by that thumbnail right there. The Booty Bandit. The reverse. Boots. Boots in the coop in the land where the Panthers grew. Next message for your boys in blue, right? Now trip out on this. Here's a story that I wanted to tell. Something I was thinking on, dwelling on. And I was kind of like, I don't know if I want to tell that story. But at the same time, in the meantime, in between time, it's time to, in a menudo style, put some graffiti on this bus. Now trip out, Holmes. When you hear the heinous and the vile and the vulgar stories about the booty bandits of prison, you never hear about the reverse booty bandit. Okay, this guy was different. This vato hit different, I guess, according to some of them little white guys, hit the long way, right? Now, trip out on this story. Factual, actual, I'm doing time out of state, and things are different. Politics are ran totally different. So as far as the norteños went, we kind of minded our own before our own will remind us, right? Wasn't very many of us, but what there was, we had a nice core, a strong clica, right? And in La Onda style homes, we did our own thing. We try to stay away from the riffraff, stay away from the dispositivity, if that's a word. Fuck it, I made it up now. And just do our own thing, because at the end of the day, it was all about us and ours, first and foremost, period. Everybody in prison must worry about your own. Spencer, it's just the way it is. Hey, you could be cool, you can fraternize with some people. Hey, how you doing, man? Beep, beep, boop, boop, boop. Yeah, high five, all that. But at the end of the day, it's all about you and yours and how you guys prosper. You got to have the propensity to really get it. And that's what we were on. Now, in this particular prison where I was at, it was a little wide open. Meaning they had a little bit of everything, right? They had a few Cheeto holes running around. So I can't call it like an alcoholic. I didn't put myself there. Administration threw me there. It was wherever they put you. Okay, like I said, different state, different politics, different pleasures, I guess, right? According to how motherfuckers were rocking. So in this particular place, there was a guy there. And I'm going to use his name because I don't care. His name was Angel. Okay? And we had heard a lot of stories about this individual. According to the myth, the legend, or whatever they were saying about this individual, was he was a Golden Gloves boxer at some point in his life and had super duper duper hands. Okay, when you hear about Golden Gloves boxers, and there's a lot of people that claim, but hey, I used to be a I used to be a Golden Gloves boxer, and then they get their ass whipped all over that yarda. You're like, So I think that was bronze gloves, because to what degree of Golden Gloves, I can't spell that one. The wind just doesn't happen to blow his way that day. But then there are those who claim Golden Gloves or semi-professional boxers, and you see them get on that yard, and they're knockout artists. They knock people out and take exactly what they want. Okay, now in most cases, when you hear about booty bandits in prison, you're automatically thinking, this vato's going to knock this vato out, and this vato's going to take his vatoism all the way up out of him, right? Or all the way up in him, depending upon the day, right? But this was totally different. This was something like I'd never seen, and this is the story of the reverse booty bandit, who I called Boots. Okay, so I'm on the yard, gang of homeboys. We see this guy walk by, and one of the homeboys tells me, hey, you know who that dude is? I said, Charlie, almost looks like a fucking knack to me. Knack meaning just kind of a baboso, someone who's there but really isn't there. He's not doing too much. But what I did notice is he had a little bit of respect on this said yard. He had a little bit of love. Everybody knew who he was. It seemed like everybody knew what he was about. And me being new to this yard, the homeboy was going to give me the complete and everything complete about it rundown. So he was like, yeah, hey, bro, that vato fucking has major hands. He be beating everyone up over here. And I was like, is that right? To what degree of beating the homeboys up here? Oh, no, he don't fuck with us. Now, this guy knew exactly who to mess with and who not to mess with. You fight one bean, you're going to fight the whole burrito. That's facts. He wasn't fucking with the Southsiders. He definitely wasn't fucking with the Norteños. And what Pedro Chatos were there, he definitely wouldn't even go into their corner as well. But what he did do was pick and bully on people that he knew that he could push up on. Okay, he was one of them guys. But I guess this guy had an extensive history and an extensive resume when it came to prison and penitentiary. Meaning he was 100-0. He hadn't lost one fight, hadn't even come close to it. He had those major hands. Anyone that did try to test his abilities, they got fingertips and toes put on him just based on this guy used to be a Golden Gloves boxer. He was the real stuff. He was the real deal. Okay? But what people didn't know, and what a lot of people did, was that this guy was also what would be considered in prison as a booty bandit. Okay? Someone who liked the booty, you would think. Or did he? One never knows one. Strike that, reverse it. Okay, so I come to find out that this individual had split personalities. Not only did they call him Angel, when they called him Angel, hey, I seen him, he'd be like, buenos dias. I'd be like, what's up, Angel? He was, I guess, a mix between Mexicano and indigenous blood, Native American blood. He was just a little bit different. Couldn't call it, couldn't quite put my finger on exactly what he was. Wasn't really trying to, but at the same time, I would see him wiggle and see the way people treated him with respect or fear. And I knew, okay, this is that one guy you just don't want to be around. There's more than meets the eye. You know what I mean? He ain't transforming Bumblebee. There's something going on with this individual. I was quick to find out exactly from a distance. Of course, from a distance. Don't put that on my plato because I don't eat that shit. Charlie, I don't like cebolla. So what happens is my homeboy's running me down. He was like, yeah, this dude, major hands, bro. Anyone that approaches him or disrespects him in the slightest, or he takes disrespect to the way they're looking at him, he's going to go put major hands on him quick. He's not going to hesitate. Now, to me, I thought it was funny because in California, it's a little bit different. If a guy disrespects someone or someone's approaching someone in a hostile manner, pedazos are getting pulled out of you know where, right? And people are getting down immediately. We're going to see helicopters and fucking placas everywhere because there is no way that one individual is going to hold this yarda hostage. But he kind of had it in a stranglehold. He kind of had it in a hostage situation, meaning nobody wanted to disrespect this man because they didn't want major hands put on him, but nobody was willing to make that next move on him. You got to understand, the state where I was at, people didn't just pick up the pedazo unless they were really willing to use it. It wasn't commonplace. It wasn't a treacherous place like that. You know, for the most part, you can catch that one-on-one fade. You could see a few stompings. You could see a few jumpings. And that was about it. It never hardly went that route. It did at times. I even participated. So I was like, yeah, I'm on my Cali shit, right? But at the same time, it wasn't like you would think in a typical California prison where a motherfucker could get hit in R&R. It was different. So anyways, kicking back on this yard for so many months, I started to see exactly what the homeboy was telling me. You know, it seemed like this guy one day would be cool. He'd be that one on the yard. He was one of those guys that could always get you anything that you needed. He had a little clout, a little juice. Even the black guys didn't want that smoke. Just because of the notoriety of his name, he had major hands, and there was a lot more to meet that eye, right? That brown eye. So this individual one day, I see him come out of his cell. Now we're going to chow, and I noticed something is slightly different. Something is slightly off about him. And like the homeboy had said, he has multiple personalities. One day he's Angel, the cool dude that everyone fucking can get a frajo from. The next day, so I was scared, I'm gonna go ahead and let you find that out for yourself. I said, God, help me here. To what degree of finding out for myself? He said, oh, not that degree, but you'll see. I did definitely see this one day. So as we're walking to chow, I noticed that this vato's eyes look a little bit different. And different they were. Different to the point where he had some eyeliner and some eyeshadow on his shit, and his shirt was tied up like a knot. Simon, like the movie Life. I said, all right, he's getting his Burning Mac on, right? This vato, I would soon to come to find out, was a chiruju, okay? You all know what chiruju is. He swang different ways. His pendulum was way over there. Wasn't like my pendulum. I said, hey, bro, is that eyeshadow that what was wearing? That what got that great Kool-Aid going, huh? The homeboy said, and now you'll see, right? And what I came to find out over time was that this individual had a persona that he called Michelle. Okay? All of a sudden, he went from Angel, this hardcore fucking Golden Gloves boxer, treacherous dude on the yard nobody wanted to see, to Michelle out there fucking batting his eyebrows and his eyelashes and trying to get his Peg Bundy on, right? Something was different. Something was totally off and different. And I told the homeboy, damn, that was different, huh? And they were like, yeah, bro. And then that's when I started to get the true story. Not only was it unfolding in front of my eyes, but I definitely got the true story, was that this guy was what you would call a reverse booty bandit. He liked a particular style of inmate. He liked a particular style of man, right? These individuals that were younger, white guys, blonde hair, blue eyes, that would come in unknowing what's going on. These first termers, these fish is what you would call them in prison. You know, these guys that look like the deer in the headlights with their ass and their eyes wide open. That's exactly where he was going, right? He was headed that way. Hey, I'm coming in, right? He was going to land. Definitely. He was trying to land his 747 in something that just couldn't fit. Or was he? One never knows, does one? So one day I see him. I see him, and he has a whole different aggressive look on his face. His eyebrows are not fucking pointed. His eyelashes are not fucking batting. he definitely looks angry and upset, and I'm thinking, damn, he's about to put in some work on someone. You could just tell when an individual, you can feel the tension, the electricity in the air. Someone's going to get motherfucking feet put on him, period. This individual, what he liked to do and what I would see over the next few years was he would throw on these old, dirty workout gloves, okay? They had the holes cut in them. They were a rusted light brown with several blood stains on them. I remember that stood out to me because I was like, is that sangre? Sangre por sangre. They're about to going blood in, this is blood out, right? And then he would throw on these old dirty ass skate boots that they didn't even distribute anymore. How he had them, to what degree he had them, and where he put them, I'll never know, but he had them, right? He would throw on these old dirty ass boots. That's why I called them boots. This actually personality of him, and these gloves, and he would just sit there with his jaw clenched, veins popped out in his head, and he looked like he wanted to do bad things to good people. And I said, Spence on the theater, I'm gonna stand over here because the way my fucking get away from this guy works, right, is I'm gonna go over here. I don't want that smoke with this individual, you know what I mean? I'm gonna have to do something bad to him, Conan, barbarian shit. And what would happen was when he, at times like this, everybody on the compa knew exactly what time it was. He would go sit in the middle of the day room and would just look at his particular victim like this and stare fucking holes through their skull, right? Basically letting them know, I'm gonna go ahead and need that, that's it, right? He was gonna go ahead and need every bit of that. He was gonna get his Debo on. What you got on my 40, Craig, right? You better have something on his 40, because if not, Savasque, what he was gonna be sipping and to what particular reason he was gonna be doing it, oh, that was on you to find out. But anyway, so this young white guy, I would see the whole pattern of this. The guy would come in, he would immediately approach him, try to take him under the wing. Now the white guys that were on, sprinkle in the woods, brother. The righteous woods would see this guy angling towards him and would kind of shy away from him like, man, you about to get fucked. Nah, we over here, right? The woods were doing their woodpile thing over there. They were burning wood over there. And meanwhile, this youngster was left to defend himself. This was the type of state, this was the type of prison atmosphere. It was old school penitentiary style, victim and prey, predators and whatever it was, right? Predators and terminators, that's it, right? And so this youngster sometimes would be like, hell nah, I won't go, right? And would fucking find a reason to roll it up off this yard, get off where he was mad at, and then Angel would beat the hell out of him in front of everybody. Or he would kind of slide up under this dude's wing and kind of conform to whatever Angel wanted, or Michelle at certain times, right? But for the most part, most of these guys didn't know exactly what was going on. They thought it was just a guy trying to be cool to them. But like everybody knows in those old penitentiary movies, if someone's giving you a Snickers bar, he's not trying to get your satisfaction, right? You're going to owe him something for them peanuts. Órale, caramel y todo. Oh man, right? Mars bar. So he was trying to get his fucking payday on, and these individuals would start to feel the heat, and I guess they try to defy what this guy had going on. This guy's like, hey, come over here. It's like, I want to talk to you myself, right? And Walter's be all nervous, like, he said, to what degree are you talking about? Like, help me, right? He fucking appreciates you, man, right? And all of us, pobrecito, we would just step back and let the shit occur, turn a blind eye to it and go about our business, because again, in prison, it's not your business. Now, if we seen about the fucking getting boned in the middle of the day room, Spence on La Tira Homes, I'm trying to play pinochle here. There was going to be issues and problems, but this guy was such an old school character, and the way he went about his hustle, or the way he knocked fools, that he never let anyone particularly see exactly what was going on, but he left that wonder in your mind and that thought, damn, was I about to end up getting it the hard way? Sasuke Spencer, the easy way, right? So a lot of these guys conformed to what this guy wanted. They just didn't fight the feeling because they didn't want to get beat up. But a lot of them would fight the feeling, and when times like that came, that's when this Vato would come down the stairs with those dirty old rusty black boots on and them gloves on with sangre all over them, and just look right in the eye like, I'm gonna go ahead and need that right now, right? It was at that particular point in time, I would say, well, something's gonna happen. It's about to be smelling in here like fucking, like chorizo and fucking, and mierda, right? So I would see this guy go up to his cell, or see this guy go to his bottom cell, and then of course I'd see Michelle, Angel, whatever the fuck he was that day, slide in behind him, and then you could hear the sounds of a cell going boop, 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 boop. Someone was in there getting beat up. Now, I was always under the assumption that he was in there taking what he wanted from this individual. I was totally wrong. Okay? After about a year of this going on repeatedly, and me finally saying, you know what, man, I'm going to talk to this Vato, because something about this don't seem right. All right? I already knew the get down. Everybody knew the get down. But at the same time, I was tired of having to look at this shit, right? And I was in a pump, man. I didn't care if this vato had hands. Yeah, I got a few hands too, right? So this vato was like, one day I got out of my angel. Let me get at you, bro. He said, what's up? You know, he was cool. He was on his angel mode this day. I said, hey, what, you used to box and shit? You know what I mean? I started out smooth because you don't want to go straight to the fucking, right? You used to box and shit, eh? He was like, yeah, I used to box. And yeah, I was about 100-0, bro. And this, and that. And started telling me his whole fucking resume and whatever. And I was like, yeah, what you locked up for? He's like, yeah, assaultive behavior. You know what I mean? I flip out a little bit and I beat people up. I said, yeah, I can see that. I've seen that a few times. You know what I mean? He said, you see that last vato I beat up? I said, yeah, I mean, I seen part of him. His eye was left over there. But yeah, I seen that. But we got cool to the conversational tip. But then I asked him straight up. I was like, what's up, bro? Why you be in there taking advantage of these cats, man? Knowing damn well you got super hands, bro. Why you do it like that? He goes, what do you mean? I said, oh shit, I done opened up a can of worms. I felt the fucking pedazo peeking up a mile, so I was ready to just pull it out blade first. Straight that, reverse it, and do what I had to do, right? Cuz, say it with my chest. Because at this particular time, this vato was looking real antsy. You know what I mean? He started to bat his eyelashes and shit. I said, I'm gonna cut his eyelids off this, so I'm not playing. And he goes, look, bro, what I do in my time, that's my business. As long as I'm not doing it out in front of you guys, I thought you guys would appreciate that fact. I'm an old school convict. I handle my business. If these guys are susceptible to be victims, then that victims they shall be. I was like, damn, he didn't lie though. I mean, he pretty much told me what I already knew. I was like, all right, I can see that. Right? I said, damn, bro, but you're Mexicano. Don't you think it makes the Mexicans look bad? And he goes, look, man, I am what I am, and that's what it is, right? So I asked the homeboy, I go, damn, he's just in there bully banging all these motherfuckers, right? The homeboy said, nah, it ain't nothing like that, bro. He ain't in there taking their shit. I said, he isn't? He said, nah, he's in there knocking them out, being the chick. If you guys get what I'm saying, the reverse booty bandit. He was the hyena in the situation. He was the type they trip out. Hey, Jody, right? He was going to knock them out and wake them up, giving them the reach around, right? And I was like, what? I guess he went in there on fucking Terminator fucking mode, beat him on up a little bit, right? Then he turned into Michelle, and Michelle just way up out of there. Obama, right? I was like, ooh, wee. I had never seen anything like this before or even heard anything like this, but I guess it was real and it was true. Now, why and what was the reason behind this guy doing this? Something probably happened to him. I don't know. I do know I ended up getting moved off that unit eventually, and the same old shit was happening the same old way, the same old style. Now, did I condone this? Absolutely not, but it became so commonplace that you turned a blind eye to it. There was other things going on in this building that this guy didn't want to see as well. But one thing I knew that was for sure was the North and the South did not participate in any of these reindeer games. It was forbidden. It wasn't even asked. If you said, hey, Holmes, do you mind if I fuck this guy? Tiger! You know what I mean? We were going to do bad things to you because we had a fucking a persona to play and so we had respect, Holmes. You know what I mean? Respect is all that matters. But this guy did it, and it's a story I wanted to tell because it was different. You never know what you're going to see and what you're going to get in prison. Now, I hear a lot of these stories where people are like, oh, they're doing this and they're doing that, and why they were taking this and they were taking that. Most of these guys that get preyed upon or taken absolutely conform to it. That's what they want. They had that in their Kool-Aid anyways. No added preservative. Sounds good. They want a preservative, and the vato's going to give them all that. But at the end of the day, most guys, it doesn't happen. It's not like it's rampant and you see it. You know, especially on a general population yard, you're not going to see that. But in other states, there's other rules and regulations and other politics, as I have said so many times before, and things were different. This guy, legendary with the hands, legendary with the mouthpiece. Shit, to what degree legendary with the mouthpiece? I can't call it. The white guys know though. But he definitely was a really cool guy. But underneath that persona, underneath that character, lurked a monster. Okay, these were the type of individuals you had to look out for in prison, because if they seen you as a victim, Holmes, that's what they were going to try to make you. It was up to you to try to stand on your own 10 toes and handle your business. Now, I felt sorry time and time again for these individuals that would go in there and that just couldn't fight back. There was nothing they could do. So they was going to get to this. That was what was going to happen. You know what I mean? And I ain't going to lie. One time I seen this white guy, his eye was all fucked up. He was fucking neck all crooked, but he had the biggest smile on his face. I was like, damn, to what degree of happy he is? I don't know, but he fought the feeling for so long, and then he said, fuck it then. He's going to get a happy ending. Fuck it, you know? With that being said, it's a sick, twisted world we live in, but it's a world we live in, gente. You need to understand that in life, it's not all about the vatos that are in there trying to take, I'm going to go take his booty. You know what I mean? Nah, there's some vatos in there trying to give it to you. That's it's up to you if you want it or not. It's like, yeah, I'm cool. Guard! I don't get down. Anyways, with that being said, I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. Those are factual stories and actual stories. Truths, man. Never lies. I hope that you move smooth with a purpose. I hope that you get everything that you want coming to you. I understand that was kind of a vulgar story, but it's real, man. If you want to hear the real get down on prisons, you came to the right spot. This is not a prison channel. These are just true stories about my time done in prison. Facts, you know, straight up. If you don't like me, hey, hit me with that thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to struggle and strive for what I truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Sometimes these stories you have to listen to. You have to open your ears and understand, man, that this is some different shit that was going on here. Bang, bang. The gun.